Hi, Lynn.
Good morning, Sue. How are you?
I am either very sleepy and fall asleep, or I have pain. Those are my choices.
Yeah. Well, sleep is a magic word right now.
So I'm cutting back a little bit during the day so I can stay awake more.
Is that working okay? The pain doesn't get too far ahead of you?
That's what I'm working out.
Yeah,
Yeah. If
that's
it's
yeah. That's the challenging thing because you don't want it to get ahead of you, and then it's hard to get it back.
right.
So if you have to
Yeah.
sleep more, just sleep more. This is your sleeping time. This is your, you know.
Got to run some errands today, so I need to go get some more flannel shirts. It's the only thing that works. Has to
Great.
be big to fit over the sling.
So you have the sling underneath the flannel shirt.
Yeah.
Good.
I only want the sling off for a very short time to straighten out, straighten out the elbow. You can straighten it out once in a while and then put it right back. They don't want you out, don't want me out of the sling at all.
Yeah.
But you have to take it off the shower. So today I run errands and today I get to have a shower. I'm pretty excited.
That is pretty. Isn't it funny, the things that excite us, the things that, yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny the things you get excited about when you after surgery.
Exactly. Definitely. So you can drive with one hand, I guess.
No.
Oh, I was going to say, so you have someone who's going to take you running errands.
No driving. I literally can't use this at all. So you can't turn the car on or the turn signals. Yeah, that doesn't work.
Well, I didn't think so, but I was surprised when you said you're going to go run errands, but obviously you have someone that's taking you. So.
Yes, I'm right. Yeah.
So when you go back to the doctor again?
I think it's next week, the 27th.
Okay.
And he wants to see if any motion by then. And I think the day before I do PT. So PT starts next week and I go back to the doctor next week.
Oh, really? Wow. PT already. Great.
So, yeah, I made the PT appointment as late in the week as I could.
Yeah.
So him Friday and I will see physical therapy. Oh no. When is it? Don't tell me I forgot to write it down. Yep, I did. I forgot to write it down. How funny is that?
Not surprising. Not surprising.
I have to double check everything because
Yes.
if I think it, I think I've done it. And it's not the same as doing it.
Exactly. Oh, I'm just glad that you're through the worst of it.
And how are you today?
I'm fine, except for my allergies. I can't stop blowing my nose. I mean, I'm not sick. It's all clear. I just let my nose just runs and runs. And Tom's is a mess too. There's just a lot of pollen, I guess, in the air. I don't know. Yesterday, my eyes were burning, but other than that, I'm doing good. Doing good.
So yeah, mine aren't as bad today as they have been some other days. So it's weird. It can be really bad for me here, and Pat will have a good day. And then
Real-
she's sneezing and coughing and carrying on, and I'm fine. That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was, boy, the wind yesterday was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's just
it was
crazy.
a lot of rain, really hard rain, and a lot of wind. It was kind of fun to watch it.
Yeah. I had to be out in it for a little bit because I had to go to the eye doctor. But other than that, I stayed buckled in, no walks yesterday.
Did you get caught in the bad storm? I mean, the high wind or the really
I
hard?
really did. I didn't, it's funny, when I went, it was really windy, but it wasn't raining. And Tom had left just a half hour before me, and he just got caught in the rain and the storm and whatever. It's just kind of, but afterwards I even thought, well, it's not bad. I'll just stop at Safeway and get some stuff, and came out and still no rain. So I don't know how I missed that little window, but so I was just dealing with the wind.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get out in the worst of it. That's good.
I didn't. I lucked out. Although the rain, well, I don't like driving like on the freeway in the rain or something, but I was just local streets here. So
Yeah.
rain otherwise doesn't bother me. I drip dry. And
Okay. Well, looks like it might be just the two of us today.
yeah, I had encouraged Evie on Tuesday to come, but she could have an appointment or something. And Sharon's usually here, isn't she? And Cinda.
And I don't thing on Slack, so okay, we'll just start. So I was kind of hoping to talk about the quantum field and get your take on your understanding of the quantum field.
Quantum field, okay.
So in some meditations, it's the quantum field that's the focus of space. And my understanding is it's the quantum field that what we are asking for goes into the field, spirit takes over, and from the quantum field, it goes either into all our systems in our body, or it goes out to something else that
I can, I can't hear you.
you can't hear me.
There you go. You were frozen there. I couldn't tell if you were just thinking deeply or if you.
Oh, okay. So I was frozen. So I wanted to talk about the quantum field and whatever your understanding is of that. So what kind of an understanding do you have of that?
Oh gosh. I don't know if I can verbalize it. The quantum, when I get to the quantum area, to me, that's beyond my understanding. But I feel like it's all part of, how do I say this? I don't know. I'm trying to put it into words. I think about how everything is energy. And if I think about, we want to call it the quantum field, maybe it's an energy field that is beyond my understanding, but is still also part of the whole of creation. It's just that we haven't maybe I haven't risen to a place where I can understand that. I just trust that it's all divinely held. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just can't really put it into words.
That's okay. That's okay. Morning, Sharon.
Good morning. I slept in.
Good for you.
I realized that you didn't know for sure if you're going to make it, Sue, so I thought I better rush and rush. Good, good. I'm so glad. Quantum field. I remember years ago there's a book written about the quantum physics, remember?
Mm-hmm.
They were saying that the quantum particle is the tiniest particle way beyond atom and etc. So for me, the quantum field there is just the entire energy biofield that we live within. I would say a whole 64 dimensions in the tag word.
And see what the word actually means. Quantum. Okay, in physics, minimum amount of any physical entity involved in an interaction. Okay, we can use that. Not sure it helps me, but okay. But I think of the quantum field, and then I'm not thinking of the teeniest part of it. I'm thinking of consciousness makes it up. But do you want to just do a check-in and see what's going on with you?
Sure. I was just looking up quantum field theory, and now even their explanation is beyond me. It's all about theoretical physics.
Yeah.
No wonder I was having trouble trying to explain. But what you said, Sharon, about the smallest particle and such, that just, yeah. I wonder if it's, somehow our entry into the energetic field that we take for granted, or that we think we work with. And anyway, check in. I'm doing fine. Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
I'm late.
I just looked up it says quantum mechanics for beginners. Everything is made up from the little chunks called quanta. Small particles are completely different than different animals of large objects. The visible universe is made up of all these things, the matter that makes up the visible universe is part of the larger field. So what we see is part of the field. So to me, it's like everything that is. It's the quanta field is made up of the smallest particles of quantum. It takes me right back to mathematics. In that mathematics are used to create measurements that we can visibly see.
Mm-hmm.
Our bodies do it automatically, but there's so much that our bodies cannot discern that is discerned through other mechanisms like devices, medical devices. But even the medical devices that we have are not sufficient to measure the extensiveness of the entire field of what it would be called the quantum field. So I think it's, it's all that is that we see such a small part of it because our ability to discern it is limited by the physical body and what it can do, by machines, what they can do. I remember a fellow who was a design engineer at the Livermore Laboratory in California said, Sharon, when we discover the new mathematics, people will understand what you're doing because we're impacting that quanta field, and we don't, haven't called it the quantum field for a long time, but for a while I did. It's just everything. Some people might call it the love field or all that is, or God. I think it's way beyond that. It's just everything in which we live. And check in for me. Let's see, I just got up and I'm still in my jammies with a shirt on. And I haven't figured it out yet. That's me.
I don't think it has to be anything I have to identify. What's coming to me is I don't have to identify it. I just have to trust it and know that the quantum field is a consciousness that behind all it is. And I like having that belief system in a belief in a system that is before material manifestation. It's organized. That's why I think I would call all the universal laws in action and not the physical world, except when we manifest something from it. And it's still from it. So something I need to believe in and trust.
Yeah, and I wonder that you're kind of saying what I was trying to say at the beginning, that it's, and I wonder if the work that we do, whether it's the work that we do with Sharon and the energy work, whether it's the work I do with Reiki, that, it's is I trust that energy, but I couldn't, there's no way I can package it and say this is what it is, or there's no way that I can understand fully. It's trusting in something greater, something bigger, something, I trust when I send a distant Reiki energy, even though I'm not physically touching the person, that energy is going to that person as if I were right there. And that's in a field that I can't touch or feel, whatever, but I know I'm within it, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. So how are you, Audrey?
I'm okay. I am a little scattered this morning. Woke up a little not wonky, but like it's very gray here, and I just feel like the day. I too am in my jammies at noon with a sweatshirt over my jammies. Um, Overall, I'm doing well. Just kind of feel like I'm in a big pause and trying to trace the resistance to moving forward. So I did a big burn yesterday, and yeah, just moving past that pause. I don't know if I created it myself or some outside source creating it, but I'm tired of the pause and ready to move forward. That's where I am. Ready to play in the quantum field more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it when Joe Dispenza calls it space. It gives me a quality I can put to it. And if I just call it space, that helps me with it. But man, I have to tell you, since January 9th, I can make decisions to get something done or to do something, but I have absolutely no control how, when, or how it gets done. I mean, it is so clear that there's a sequence of events that have to fall into place for other people, not just me. And that's the part that fascinates me is when things come together, it's not coming together just on my path. It could involve 100 people or 1,000 people. And that just boggles my mind. And I'm so glad I'm not God. And I don't have to take on this responsibility, because how would you arrange 100 people for one outcome? No way. So,
You know, I just realized I mean, in the moment I said, I'm doing fine, but what's really been challenging me the last, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks, at least it seems more vivid in the last week, is fear seems to want to grip me. It just seems like it's almost like, it feels like it's testing me, or maybe not a test so much as it's forcing me to stop and say no and go back to my center, go back to my divine center, who I am, what I am, that fear is not real, love is real, and not lock into it. But it seems like I'm being challenged to do that a lot. And like I say, maybe it's part of my evolution in teaching me to not go into it, but to alert me that, oh, this is a time to go back in, get centered, connect to who you really are, and not let the fear that ego or whatever creates. It's been huge for me. I'm getting worn down and tired of it, but at the same time, I do feel like it's not a bad thing. It feels like it's a teaching moment. Does that make any sense?
yes.
Since you asked the question, Lynn, in the tag work, it's exactly appropriate because by law, anything that is in your field is going to show up in your life in some fashion. It has to. That's the law.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we take an extra expansion step, we open ourselves to the next journey, which is healing what is in us we didn't know was in us. And it will show up as a thought, an emotion, a situation. It shows up in our world. And so, for me, when activating the tag matrix is one thing, because it's broad. It's like sweeps across the fields, go down to the iceberg area. But for specific things, one of the most powerful ones is a soul integration or just creation, where you say, who in me knows about the seed? Who knows the seed? Because what I find for myself is if the issue-based, which is usually what we are seeing, there's a seed in you, it's going to pop up, here it is. And if you get the seed has a message, and the message says, 700 years ago, you had to be small, and I'm still playing the role. It has a message, and that's the learning part. That's the ego part. It's not bad. It's old patterns. So, using the soul integration, you can say, oh, okay, I hear you. Well, guess what? We're doing it differently now. And so can relax, and you go through the soul creation and reaffirm what you're reaffirming. But you're reaffirming on top of the seed that has a job to do. And it has to keep doing that job until you give it a voice and hear it and educate it. And then it's gone. I'm out of here. I've done my job, and now you've got it in hand. And the only exception to that is if it is if a planet is hitting a sensitive part of your chart about, let's say, fear, it will keep knocking on the fear, knocking on the fear, knocking on the fear. You keep doing your work. You keep doing your work, and planetaries. Um, a growth or change doesn't seem to happen until the planet moves off, and then it's all there full blown. Where with an issue, you feel the change with every application of whatever the process is. So for me, when I hear you say that, it's like soul integration, soul
I,
integration.
I need to write that. I need to get up my tag notes for the soul integration.
No, I can send it to you because sometimes if you're like me, I'm having a hard time finding all my tag notes.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got a folder this big.
I know. I'm trying to put it into a little booklet, and it's like, whoa. Yeah, so I'll just send it to you because for me, that's for those specific issues, I can activate the tag matrix and the deep six, absolutely. Put yourself in a cocoon, absolutely. But for those specifics, some of them have to be heard by you and released, changed, blessed, etc. by you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we forget that sometimes. I forget that sometimes, that the breaking off pieces of ourselves over lifetime, from trauma, from death, from being small, lots of reasons.
Yeah.
I
It's
really, that's why we're here this time in this lifetime, pulling it all together, and we're going to claim all that we are. This one now.
it's a way, it's our healthy self creating an aspect of ourself, an aspect to give a job to, so that we can continue. The center core of ourself doesn't have to be in the pain. This other part of us is in the pain. The other part of us is holding a job. So I just call them aspects or different personalities, but usually they're just aspects. And it's healthy. It's really healthy. But it's not healthy because we're all scattered when we're starting, like you say, pull ourselves together. We have to get those pieces and weave them back into our health. Yeah.
One thing that's been coming up for me is that some friends that I have, they've been saying things like, psychics aren't 100% accurate. So their messages from source aren't accurate all the time. And I've been sitting with that, like, boy, are you like, are you just counting messages from source? Or are you just counting messages that I receive? And I don't take it personally, but I'm like, well, where are you and where am I? It's making me look at that too. Like, where am I in it? Because it's just been interesting because two of them have said that recently. And I'm like, huh, what is this? What is this?
Do you want a suggestion, Audrey?
Sure.
First of all, I would say the same thing to you I just said to Lynn. What seed do you carry inside yourself that says I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not accurate, and go after that. The other thing, and that's important. That's for you. The bigger truth is that they're true. That's every psychic, every clairvoyant, every meditator, every downloader gets a piece of the quantum field that we talked about.
Yeah.
And it comes in accordance to what their belief is. So if their belief can only handle that much of all that is, they're going to get limited. It might be totally accurate, ought to be totally accurate if their connection's good, totally accurate for what they believe. It has to match their belief. Unless they say take me beyond or question and expand their box, and they're only seeing, like, they might be seeing something in the eighth dimension, of a person's life, or they might be seeing something in one or two aspects of another lifetime. You cannot expect one person, you or me or anybody, to say, I've got the answer, I know it all. You don't. We see pieces of the entire field that if we're in integrity to our presence of honesty and wisdom is accurate, and it's a piece of their puzzle. It's like somebody who comes to me and said, oh, I did this process and it didn't work. I don't say to them, you're right, but mine will. I say to them, it worked in that area of your life. It worked. It didn't have all the pieces you need, nor do I. But here's another piece, and here's another piece, and maybe those together will work. Usually what gets credit is the last piece of the puzzle that causes everything to look great. But we are this and this and this and this needed integrated. So they're right.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Like, as we know it intuitively, right? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, you guys want to go into meditation?
Indeed, indeed.
Let's get centered, and let's go into the quantum field. So first, all dark energies, entities, parasitic, hitchhikers, intruders, invaders, be gone. And Colin, PTO, our tag team, to search for anything not of our light and to remove it. And take it back to its home. And any dark agendas that are intruding, be gone. Any disruptive dark messages, be gone. And feel your feet firmly planted on Earth Mother. Feel that connection. Feel the nurturing love that comes right up through our feet into our bodies. And let's take a very deep, calming breath. Breathing in, Earth Mother, nurturing love. And on the exhale, breathing out any toxic emotions, thoughts, worries, anxiety, any fears. Just breathe it out. Breathing in, nurturing love. Breathing out all fears, frustration, and confusion. Gently breathing in, gently breathing out. And then let's take our focus all the way up to where you see a portal or feel a portal into the unknown. And open that up. And allow that intelligence and wisdom, compassion to flow back into us, down into our crown, through our mind and through our body, and down into Earth Mother. Let's just see this one long strand of energy from above and below. And let's loop it. So when it comes into Earth Mother, through our feet, down into her core, back up, behind us, all the way up to the universe, from the universe down into our crown. And let's just see this looping around and around and around. And everything around us is the quantum field. Everything is consciousness before it takes form. And it takes form by always setting our intention. Let's set our intention to ask from within the quantum field what new information would be most helpful to me in this time and at this place. And let's sit with this for at least 10 minutes, and then I will call us back. You may gently come back as you're ready, turning on your camera. And if you need a little more time, that's okay too. Anybody have anything they want to share?
Or like assignments to get done. So I think I'm going to go back into that space and continue after we are offline.
I found that I had just barely approached it. And I want to go back. Yes, it's just so much is there. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to share? Okay. Well, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank
And
You. I'm glad you're up and moving.
Yeah.
thank you.
This and better, huh, Sue?
Oh,
Rather
yeah.
this and better.
Yes.
Yes.
Love you all.
Thank you.
And
Bye.
the clutches after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different call, different number. But
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.